Who wrote that? Why? Well, let them give everybody a chance to get settled in, settled down. Give everybody a chance to get settled down. Shabbat shalom to everybody here and in cyber worlds. All right, so shalom lakam to everybody. Erase 17th right there and put 20th. Put 20th right there. All right, we got about in 11 more nights, 11 more evenings. We'll be in the new year. So this month is gonna last for 10 more days. Well, you going to town on them nails, ain't you? For 10 more days, 10 more nights. All right. All right, so we have 30 days this month. All right, so we have 30 days that we're going to be observing this month. Somebody stick this back up, please. All right, so we're in the Shabath Torah portion. Bring it down. I think I'm gonna need this right now. Where's I got that? We're doing some. Tenemos en problemas. En muchos problemas. All right, so let's get started. Shemaya Yasha'Allah Yahweh Allahayna Yahweh Kad wa Habda at Yahweh Allahayaka Bakal Lababka wa Bakal Napaska wa Bakal Ma'atka. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one. And you shall love Yahweh your power with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Yabarakakam Yahweh Bashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shah. Yahweh bless you all in the name of Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. All right, got a little piece of beard, mustache hair keep irritating my nose a little bit, so that's why you keep seeing me go like this. As I said, what I said, 11 days, 11 more nights. In 11 more nights, we begin the new moon, the new month. For you brothers in India, same thing, 11 more nights. 11 more nights, we begin the new year, not the new year, but the new month. We have a Dar 1 and a Dar 2 this year. We're in a Dar 1 right now. Then we have a Dar 2 and 11 more nights, okay, which is so-called March 5th. So the next new moon is going to be in 11 nights, so-called March 5th. And the new year is going to be on so-called April 4th. That's the new year. So-called April 4th is the new year. And then Passover is going to take place on the 18th of April. All right, 18th of April, which is actually going to be on the 14th day of the month. As the day is ending, is going to be Passover. And then on the 15th day of the month, as the new day begins, is going to be the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And that's going to last for 7 days. All right, so 7 days from when Passover, when the Feast of Unleavened Bread starts. All right, on the seventh night from when it starts, counting day number 1, the 15th day, and then day number 7 is going to be the 21st day of the month. On the 21st day, that begins the festival on that's going to take place on the 7th day of Passover. And I'm sorry, I'm really tired of saying April 18th and I'm saying April 25th. I'm really tired of that because it confuses people, and we Hebrews, man. So, you know, I'll say it one time. You got to count like a big boy and a big girl. The new year begins on April 4th at sunset. That's the new year. That's day number 1 of the new year. So mark that someplace in your house. All right. I believe when it begins is the new year begins on our days, not the Gentile days. Okay. On our days, the year is going to begin on the 5th day of the month on our calendar, not the Gentile calendars, but on our 5th day of our 5th day of the week. The new year is going to start so-called April 4th. All right. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. All right. On the 14th day of the month, which is going to be the 4th day of the week. Remember that 14th day of the week is going to be the 14th day of the month. This particular month. It don't always happen like that. But that's when you start to get ready for your little Passover. You had to go and you had to slaughter the lamb between the evenings. All right, now you got to understand what between the evenings is talking about. You know, the Most High said that we were the wisest nation on the earth, and people are going to look at us and know this is the wise and great people. And we can't show our wiseness and greatness by constantly referring back to these demons when we're talking about our divinely inspired calendar from Yahweh. All right, so the second if you count from when the month starts and you go 2 weekdays down on the first, it starts on the 5th day of the month. I mean, the year going to start on April 4th, which is the 5th day of the week. Then the next 5th day of the week, the next week. The next 5th day of the week after that, 2 weeks after, is going to be the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Okay, it's going to be a Feast of Unleavened Bread. The day before that is the 14th day of the month, which happens on the 4th day of the week. All right, it's the 3rd week of the month. All right, it's going to be not the 3rd full week, but the 3rd week going into the month. All right, so that's how we have to talk amongst ourselves. We can't keep referring back to the Gentiles. Now, the day that the Passover is on the 14th day, all right, The next day is the 15th day when the sun goes down. So now you count from that first day, and you count that first day is the first day of Passover. And then the 7th night is going to be the last night of Passover. And that last night, or is going to begin the 7th day, all right, which is going to last for about 24 hours. So that's a holy day also. So we got to stop being lazy. You got to get yourself a Hebrew calendar so you don't got to go through all that Friday sunset and Thursday sunset, because, you know, we got to stop going. We got to learn how to do our own stuff, man. All right. The Sabbath doesn't start Friday night, right? The Sabbath starts on the 7th day of the week. All right. Which on the Gentile calendar would be a so-called Friday night. So you got to retrain your mind to talk and think and look at the calendar as a Hebrew. These Gentile calendars go from left to right. But how is Hebrew written? Hebrew is written from right to left. So you got to make your calendar from right to left. You got to say first day of the week, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th day of the week. And then you got to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is where the new year is going to start. All right, that's where the new year is going to start on the I'm sorry, when the new year is going to start. Yeah, on the 5th day of the 5th day of the week. And then 2 weeks after that is when you're going to celebrate the Passover. See how easy that is? Passover on the 5th day of the week. No problem. No sweat. And that's all you got to do. You got your phone, open up a little document app or something and do it, man. We got to stop being lazy and keep looking at these Gentile calendars and then basing what we're doing on what their calendar says. We got to have our own calendar. Everybody talks the talk, but it's time to walk the walk now. You're a Hebrew. Like I said, I'm trying to get this calendar together for you so you don't have to look at you got the Gentile calendar, you look at the Gentile things. When you look at the Hebrew, you look at the Hebrew calendar. Somebody said, okay, you know, so anyway, so that I just wanted to get that off my I want to get that off my mind real quick to share that with you, to encourage you to be Hebrew. Get your little calendar and write everything out. And then once you write it out, you know, then you'll see for yourself. You might have two of them running concurrent. You got the Gentile calendar over here. You got the Hebrew calendar over here on the right-hand side. You know, so that's what I think that, you know, all Yasha'Allah should do. You know, like I said, at least knowing your own calendar. Hey, Shalom, Hezekiah. All praise to the Most High. Hallelujah. Yeah, I can talk to you. I can talk to you about this right here. You know, after this, send me a message after the sunset, and I'll give you some details about it. So now, we're gonna get into the Torah reading. Today we're dealing in the reading of Tisa. All right, Tisa. All right, which is going to be Exodus chapter 30, verse 11, all the way to Exodus chapter 34, verse 35. All right, you comfortable? All right, verse 35. All right, so I'm gonna get started. Once again, I'm a Hebrew. You a Hebrew. Get yourself a Hebrew calendar. I have one. If you got one of the law books that we put together with the Torah inside of it, the calendars, you know, was listed like this. You had the holidays, and it was like just a page to show you the new moons. All right, but once again, this one is still dependent upon looking at a Gentile calendar. All right, because it tells you that the Kadash is on the day of the Gentile week, on the 5th day of the week, you know, at sunset from the Gentiles. But of course, for us, you know, it's really the 6th day of the week. So I myself am guilty of trying to mix the two together, you know, as all of us are. But I'm going to put out another Hebrew calendar, and it's going to be for Hebrews. It's going to be for Hebrews. There ain't going to be no Gentile calendar with no Gentile substitute names and dates on it. And I've been talking about this for, a few times now. Hey, Shalom, Downing. Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High. Shalom Lakam Marakat. Now, what I'm saying is it's going to be based on the weeks. If you check out ISO weeks, we're going to do the weeks of the Gentile year. We're going to do the weeks of the year. We're going to say, 1/1, all right, is going to happen on a certain week on that calendar. All right, we're going to do the first day of those weeks, on the left-hand side. And on the right-hand side, we're going to have what Hebrew month we're in, okay? And when that Hebrew month starts on that particular day of the week, all right? So we're going to do the day of the week that the Hebrew month, when it starts. You feel me? We're going to do when it starts. All right? So once you see when it starts, you're going to say, okay, the 5th day of in 2 weeks, on the 5th day of the week is when we're going to start is when we're going to have this holiday or this new moon or whatever. So this is when Purim is coming up or whatever. So you'll have the calendar in front of you, and you can look at the Hebrew way of doing it, and you'll see what day of the week it falls on our calendar. And then you'll have the responsibility to say, okay, it's going to be the 5th day of the week for us. Okay, that's going to be so-called, Thursday night, the 5th day of the week. But for us, it's going to be the 5th day of the week. So instead of looking at a Gentile calendar and having to convert it to a Hebrew calendar, you'll do the opposite. You'll look at a Hebrew calendar, and then if you want to, you'll convert that into the Hebrew way of how we do time. All right, so I'm gonna get started. That's the 16-minute lecture on that. We could have been finished with 3 portions by now. So I'm gonna get started with chapter 30, verse 11. All right, it says, Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, when you take a census of the children of Yashar'Allah, according to their number, every man shall give an atonement for his soul when counting them, so that there will not be a plague among you when counting them. This shall they give everyone who passes through the census a half shekel of the sacred shekel. The shekel is 20 gerah. Half a shekel is as a portion to Yahweh. Everyone that passes through the census from 20 years of age and up shall give the portion of Hashem. The wealthy shall not increase, and the destitute shall not decrease from half a shekel, to give the portion of Yahweh, to atone for their souls, for your souls. I shall take the silver of the atonements from the children of Yashar'Allah and give it for the work of the tent of meeting, and it shall be a remembrance before Yahweh for the children of Yashar'Allah to atone for your souls. All right. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, all right. So you sure it's not 17? So the first one is 17? Oh, okay. So now, real quick, I want to show that the work of the temple, like people try to relate to the church, was covered by giving a half a shekel of silver every year for every male. So that's the cost that the Most High expected to be paid for the service of the temple, to the thing that needed to be done at the temple. All right, half a shekel of silver for every male. So so every male that's over 20 years. So when we came up out of Egypt and we had half a shekel, we had 600,000 men. So that would have been 600,000 half shekels, which would have been 300,000 full shekels of silver. So it would have been 300,000 full shekels of silver. You see, so the Most High expects us to be dealing on certain things on a national level, central based, and we can't do that now in the land of our captivity. All right, we can't do that now in the land of our captivity. All right, because we don't got the temple set up. We don't got the temple, so we can't do that. But if you got a place where you worship and stuff, see what a shekel is. You know what I'm saying? And each male, we see it right here that each male should be given something, that the individual should be giving something toward the place where they're meeting at and studying at and praying at, things of that nature. But in ancient, that's the moral of the story. But in ancient Israel, they gave a half of a shekel of silver for the atonement of their sins and for the operation of the temple. All right. All right, so that's that. So now verse 17. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, you shall make a copper laver or wash bin, and its base of copper for washing. Place it between the tent of meeting and the altar, and put water there. From it Aaron and his sons shall wash their hands together with their feet. Whenever they come to the tent of meeting, they shall wash with water and not die. Or when they approach the altar to serve, to raise up and smoke a fire offering to Yahweh, they shall wash their hands and feet and not die. It shall be for them an eternal decree, for him and his offspring, for their generations. Yahweh spoke to Moses, saying, now you take for yourselves choice spices, 500 shekel weights of pure myrrh, fragrant cinnamon, half of which shall be 250 of fragrant cane, 500 of acacia in the sacred shekel weight, and a hin of oil. Of it you shall make the sacred ointment, a blended compound, the handiwork of a perfumer. It shall remain oil of sacred anointment. With it you shall anoint the tent of meeting and the ark of testimonial tablets, the table and all its utensils, the menorah, and its utensils, and the incense altar, the elevation offering altar and all its utensils, and the laver and its base. You shall sanctify them, and they shall remain holy of holies. Whatsoever toucheth them shall become holy. You shall anoint Aharon and his sons and sanctify them to minister to me. You shall speak to the children of Yasharallah, saying, this shall remain for me oil of sacred anointments for your generations. It shall not be smeared on human flesh, and you shall not duplicate it in its formulation. It is holy. It shall remain holy for you. Anyone who shall compound its like, or who shall put it upon an alien, shall be cut off from his people. Yahweh said to Masha, take for yourselves spices, stacte, onisha, and galbanum, spices, and pure frankincense. These shall be of equal weight. You shall make it into a spice compound, the handiwork of the perfumer or apothecary, thoroughly mixed, pure and holy. You shall grind some of it finely and place some of it before the testimonial tablets in the tent of meeting, where I shall designate a time to meet you. It shall remain holy of holies to you. The incense shall you shall make in its proportion. You shall not make for yourselves. It shall remain holy for you to Yahweh. Whoever makes its like to smell, it shall be cut off from his people. Kala shara the body Yahweh na Aisha wa na Shemai. All that Yahweh has said will we do in here. Chapter 31. Yahweh spoke to Masha, saying, see, I have called
by a name Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Hur, of the tribe of Judah. I have filled him with a godly spirit, wisdom, insight, and knowledge, and with every craft to weave designs, to work with gold, silver, and copper, stone cutting and setting, and wood carvings, to perform every craft. And behold, I have assigned with him Aholiab, son of Ahisamach, of the tribe of Dan. And I have endued the heart of every wise-hearted person with wisdom. And they shall make all that I have commanded you: the tent of meeting, the ark of the testimonial tablets, and the cover that is upon it, and all the utensils of the tent, the table and its utensils, the pure menorah and all its utensils, the incense altar, the elevation offering altar and its utensils, the laver and its base, the knit vestments, the sacred vestments of Aharon, the priest Kahan, and the vestments of his son to minister, the anointment oil and the incense spices of the sanctuary, like everything that I have commanded, you shall they make. Yahweh said to Mashah, saying, now you speak to the children of Yasha'Allah, Banya Yasha'Allah, saying, however, you must observe my Shabaths, for it is a sign between me and you for your generations, to know that I am Yahweh, who makes you holy. You shall observe the Sabbath, for it is holy to you. Its desecrators shall be put to death. For whosoever does work on it, that soul shall be cut off from among its people. For 6 days work may be done, and the seventh day is a day of complete rest. It is sacred to Yahweh. Whoever does work on the Sabbath day shall be put to death. The children, the Banya Yasha'Allah, shall observe the Shabbat, to make the Shabbat an eternal covenant for their generations between me and the children of Yasha'Allah. It is a sign forever that in a 6-day period, Yahweh made heaven and earth. And on the seventh day, he rested and was refreshed. When he finished speaking to him on Mount Sinai, he gave Moses the 2 tablets of testimony, stone tablets inscribed by the finger of Yahweh. Kalashara debar Yahweh. All that Yahweh said, what we doing here? Chapter 32. The people saw that Moses had delayed in descending the mount. And the people gathered around Aharon and said unto him, rise up, make for us gods that will go before us. For this man Moses, who brought us up from the land of Egypt, we know not what became of him. Aharon said to them, remove the rings of gold that are in the ears of your wives, sons, and daughters, and bring them unto me. The entire people removed the gold rings that were in their ears and brought them to Aaron. He took it from their hands and bound it up in a cloth and fashioned it into a molten calf. They said, this is our God, O Yasha'Allah, which brought you up from the land of Matazayim. Aharon saw and built an altar before him. Aharon called out and said, a festival for Yahweh tomorrow. They arose early the next day and offered up elevation offerings and brought peace offerings. The people sat to eat and drink, and they got up to revel. Yahweh spoke to Moses, go, descend, for your people that you brought up from the land of Egypt has become corrupt. They have strayed quickly from the way that I have commanded. the way that I have commanded them. They have made themselves a molten calf, prostrated themselves to it, and sacrificed to it. And they said, this is your Alahayim, O Yashar'Allah, which brought you up from the land of Matazayim. Yahweh said to Masha, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people, and now desist from me. Let my anger flare up against them, and I shall annihilate them, and I shall make you a great nation. Masha pleaded before Yahweh, his Alahayim, and said, why, Yahweh, should your anger flare up against your people, whom you have taken out of the land of Matazayim with great power and a strong hand? Why should Egypt say the following? With evil intent did he take them out, to kill them in the mountains and to annihilate them from the face of the earth. Relent from your flaring anger and reconsider regarding the evil against your people. Remember, for the sake of Abaraham, Yatzakak, and Yashar'Allah, your servants to whom you swore by yourself, and you told them, I shall increase your offspring like the stars of heaven, and this land of which I spoke I shall give to your offspring, and it shall be their heritage forever. Yahweh reconsidered regarding the evil that he had declared he would do to his people. Moses turned and descended from the mountain with the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand, tablets inscribed on both their sides. They were inscribed on the one side and the other. No, her sit right there. She needs to sit right there. With the 2 tablets of the testimony in his hand, tablets inscribed on both their sides. They were inscribed on the one side and the other. The tablets were of Alahayim's handiwork, and the script was the script of Alahayim, engraved on the tablets. And Yahweh heard the sound of the people and its shouting. And he said to Masha, the sound of battle is in the camp. And he said, not a sound shouting strength, nor a sound shouting weakness. A sound of distress do I hear. It happened as he drew near the camp, he saw the calf and the dances, that Masha's anger flared up. He threw down the tablets from his hand and shattered them at the foot of the mountain. He took the calf that they had made and burned it in fire. He ground it to a fine powder and sprinkled it over the water. He made the Banya Yashar'Allah drink. Masha said to Aharon, what did this people do to you that you brought a grievous sin upon it? Aharon said, let not my master's anger flare up. You know that the people is disposed toward evil. They said to me, make us a Alahayim that will go before us. For this man Masha, who brought us up from the land of Matazayim, we do not know what became of him. So I said to them, who has gold? They removed it and gave it to me. I threw it into the fire, and this calf emerged. Masha saw the people, that it was exposed, for Aharon had exposed them to disgrace among those who rise up against them. Masha stood at the gateway of the camp and said, whoever is for Yahweh, join me. and all the Levites gathered around him. He said to them, so said Yahweh, the Elohim of Yasharallah, every man put his sword on his thigh and pass back and forth from gate to gate in the camp. Let every man kill his brother, every man his fellow, and every man his near one, king's family. The Levites did as Moses said, and about 3,000 men of the people fell that day. Moses said, dedicate yourselves this day to Yahweh, for each has opposed his son and his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. So that's why we say the killer Haitians, because these Levites that is talking about are the Haitians today. So they went through, they didn't regard their father, their mother, they didn't regard their brother or their son. If anybody was against Yahweh and they were worshiping that golden calf, then the Levite soldiers that went over with Moses, they killed them. Same thing happened in the Haitian Revolution. Anybody that was opposed to them getting their freedom, whether they were black or white, they got killed. Black or white or the original occupants of Quisqueya, everybody got killed that opposed the cause that they were seeking, which was freedom. All right. So that's what the scriptures show, that the Haitians, you know, are killers, man. They killers. When it comes to their freedom and when it comes to the cause of right and wrong, they should have a spirit of war about them. But a lot of y'all Haitians today, man, y'all lax in the Torah. Y'all lax in the law. Y'all don't got that same spirit that you see back in the time of Moses. I need to get that same spirit back. I mean, even if you got the spirit of Tucson to overture, when it comes to the Torah and when it comes to the law, that will be good for all of Israel. Right? But y'all caught up in the hopes and dreams of America like every other tribe when y'all supposed to be set apart. Y'all supposed to be joined unto the Most High. Not you, if you ain't supposed to be doing like everybody else. You're supposed to have a standard that's higher than the other tribes based on the law, based on the Torah, and based on, you know, the teaching of the statutes and the judgments of the Most High, and standing firm. All right. Chapter 32, verse 30. On the next day, Masha said to the people, you have committed a grievous sin, and now I shall ascend to Yahweh. Perhaps I can win atonement in the face of your sin. Moses returned to Yahweh and said, I implore, I beg you, this people has committed a grievous sin and made themselves a god of gold, the golden calf. And now, if you would but forgive their sin, but if not, erase me from your book that you have written, the book we read about in Revelations 22. It's the last time we read about it. Yahweh said to Masha, whoever has sinned against me, I will erase from my book. Go now and lead the people to where I have told you. Behold, my angel, which is Yahweh, shall go before you. And on the day that I make my account, I shall bring their sin to account against them. See, we have to give account for all our sins one day. Then Yahweh struck the people with a plague because they made the calf that Aaron had made. Kalashra the body Yahweh. Nice Yahweh Nashemah. All the Yahweh said what we doing here. Exodus chapter 33. Hashem Yahweh spoke to Masha. Go ascend from here, you and your people whom you brought up from the land of Matazayim, to the land about which I swore to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov, saying, I shall give it to your offspring. I shall send an angel ahead of you, and I shall drive out the Canaanite, the Amorite, the Hittite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite, to a land that flows with milk and honey. Perfect natural harmony and unity. Perfect ecosystem. Because I shall not ascend among you, for you are a stiff-necked people, lest I annihilate you by the way. The people heard this bad tidings, and they became grief-stricken, and no one donned his jewelry among you. And no one donned his jewelry. Verse 5. Yahweh said to Mashah, say to the Banya Yasha'Allah, you are a stiff-necked people. If I shall ascend among you, I may annihilate you in an instant. And now remove your jewelry from yourselves, and I shall know what I shall do to you. So the children of Yasha'Allah were stripped of their jewelry from Mount Horeb. Mashah would take the tent and pitch it outside the camp, far from the camp, and call it the tent of meeting. So it was that whoever sought Yahweh would go out to the tent of meeting, which was outside the camp. Whenever Mashah would go out to the tent, the entire people would stand up and remain standing, everyone at the entrance of his tent. And they would gaze after Moses until he arrived to the tent. When Moses would arrive to the tent, a pillar of cloud would descend and stand at the entrance of the tent, and he would speak with Mashah. The entire people would see the pillar of the cloud standing in the entrance of the tent, and the entire people would rise and prostrate themselves, everyone at the entrance of his tent. Yahweh Hashem would speak to Mashah face to face, as a man would speak with his fellow. Then he would return to the camp. His servant Yahushua, son of Nun, a lad, would not depart from within the tent. Mashah said to Yahweh, see, you say to me, take this people onward, but you did not inform me of whom you will send with me. And you said, I shall know you by name, and you have found favor in my eyes. And now, if I have indeed found favor in your eyes, make your way known to me, so that I may comprehend your saying, you have found favor in my eyes. But see that this nation is your people. He said, my presence will go and provide you rest. He said to him, if your presence does not go along, do not bring us forward from here. How then will it be known that I have found favor in your eyes, I and your people, unless you accompany us, and I and your people be made distinct from every people on the face of the earth? Yahweh said to Mashah, even the thing of which you spoke, I shall do. For you have found favor in my eyes, and I have known you by name. He said, show me now your glory. He said, I shall make all my goodness pass before you, and I shall call out the name, and I shall call out with the name Yahweh before you. I shall show mercy when I choose to show. I shall show favor when I choose to show favor, and I shall show mercy when I choose to show mercy. He said, you will not be able to see my face, for no human can see me and live. Yahweh said, behold, there is a place near me. You may stand on the rock. When my glory passes by, I shall place you in the cleft of the rock. I shall shield you with my hand until I have passed. Then I shall remove my hand, and you will see my back, but my face may not be seen. Kala Shara the body Yahweh, not Aisha wa Nashemai. All that Yahweh has said, what we doing here. Exodus 34. Yahweh said to Moshe, carve for yourselves 2 stone tablets like the first one. And I shall inscribe the tablets, on the tablets, the words that were on the first tablets, which you shattered. Be prepared in the morning. Ascend Mount Sinai in the morning, and stand by me there on the mountaintop. No man may ascend with you, nor may anyone be seen on the entire mountain. Even the flock and the cattle may not graze facing that mountain. So he carved out 2 stone tablets like the first ones. Moshe arose in the morning and ascended to Mount Sinai, as Yahweh had commanded him. And he took 2 stone tablets in his hand. Yahweh descended in a cloud and stood with him there, and called out with the name Yahweh. Yahweh passed before him and proclaimed, Yahweh, Yahweh, the power, compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, and abundant in kindness and truth, preserver of kindness for thousands of generations, forgiver of iniquity, willful sin and error, and who cleanses, but does not cleanse completely, recalling the iniquity of the parents upon children and grandchildren to the 3rd and 4th generations. So he remembers what your parents did evil when he looks upon you, if they haven't repented for that evil they have done. Okay. Moshe hastened to bow his head toward the ground and prostrate himself. He said, if I have now found favor in your eyes, my Lord, let my Lord go among us, for it is a stiff-necked people. And you shall forgive our iniquity and our error, and make us your heritage. As we have you come and read the last one, 10 to 28, then you can come and read the next one after that. Amadwa, Barakwa, Yablak Kayao Bashim Yawasha.
Exodus chapter 34, verse 10 to 28. He said, behold, I seal a covenant before your entire people. I shall make distinctions such as have never been created in the entire world and among all the nations, and the entire people among whom you will see the work of Yahweh, which is awesome, and I am about to do with you. Beware of what I command you today. Behold, I drive out before you the Amorite, the Canaanite, the Hittite, the Perizzite, the Hivite, and the Jebusite. Be vigilant lest you seal a covenant with the inhabitant of the land to which you are come, lest it be a snare among you. Rather you break apart their altars, smash their pillars, and cut down their sacred trees. Cut down sacred trees. For you shall not prostrate yourself to an alien god, for the very name of Yahweh is jealous. is jealous one. He is a jealous Elohim, lest you seal a covenant with the inhabitant of the land.
Oh, you read this one?
Stray after their gods, slaughter to their gods, and he invite you to eat from his slaughter. And you take their daughters for your sons, and their daughters stray away after their Elohims, and entice your sons to stray after their Elohims. You shall not make for yourselves molten gods. You shall observe the festival of matzos. For a 7-day period you shall eat matzos, as I commanded you, at the appointed time in the month of spring. For in the month of spring you went forth from Egypt. Every first issue of a womb is mine, as well as any of your livestock that produces a male, the first issue of an ox or a sheep, the first issue of a donkey, you shall redeem it with a lamb or kid. And if you do not redeem it, you shall axe the back of its neck. You shall redeem every firstborn of your sons. They shall not appear before me empty-handed. 6 days shall you work, and on the 7th day you shall desist. You shall desist from plowing and harvesting. You shall make the festival of weeks with the first offering of the wheat harvest, and the festival of harvest shall be at the changing of the year. 3 times a year all your males shall appear before Yahweh, before Adonai Yahweh. And the Elohim of Yashar'Allah, for I shall banish nations before you, and broaden your boundary. No man will cover your land when you go up to appear before Yahweh, your Elohim, 3 times a year. You shall not slaughter my blood offering while in possessions of loving food, nor may the feast offering of the Pesach festival be left overnight until morning. The first of your land's early produce you shall bring to the temple of Yahweh, your Elohim. Do not cook a kid in its mother's milk. Yahweh said to Moshe, write these words for yourself.
What verse is that?
27.
You want 27 now?
Okay.
At the end of the kid in the milk. They got that wrong up too. You see, because here's the this milk, right? It says Bakalab Amwa. Then it has Shabya Idea right here. And it says 27 on one side, 7. It actually begins with the 7th portion. I'll come up and read it. If you want to go ahead and read it, I can read it. The end of 35, 8 more verses. Remember, that's when I came back last night and did the other, came back and did a whole nother session, remember? Once I saw how many verses it was only like 9 verses. Go ahead.
Yahweh said to Moshe, write these words for yourself, for according to these words have I sealed a covenant with you and Yashar'Allah. He remained there with Yahweh for 40 days and 40 nights. He did not eat bread, and he did not drink water. And he wrote on the tablets the words of the covenant, the 10 commandments. When Moshe descended from Mount Sinai with the 2 tables of the testimony in the hand of Moshe, as he descended from the mountain, Moshe did not know that the skin of his face had become radiant when he had spoken to him. Aharon and all the children of Yashar'Allah saw Moshe, and behold, the skin of his face had become radiant, and they feared to approach him. Moshe called to them, and Aharon and all the leaders of the assembly returned to him, and Moshe would speak to them. After that, all the children of Yashar'Allah would approach. He would command them regarding everything that Yahweh had spoken to him on Mount Sinai. Moshe finished speaking with them and placed a mask on his face. When Moshe would come before Yahweh to speak with him, he would remove the mask until his departure. Then he would leave and tell the children of Yashar'Allah whatever he had been commanded. When the children of Yasharallah saw Masha's face, that Masha's face had become radiant, Masha put the mask back on his face until he came to speak with him.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's it now. Okay, so the Haftarah for this Torah portion is 1 Kings chapter 18, verses 20 through 39. All right, so again, as the children of Israel, Yasharallah, this is, what we would do, in our country, in ancient Israel. We would go through and we would read inside the Torah. And when we read in the Torah, we would read the portions of the prophets that kind of coincided with the Torah. All right. This says 1 through 39. Yeah, it's 1 through 39, not 18 through, not 20 through 39. Where that came from? All right, so all praise to Yahweh. We almost finished with the Torah for the Shabath. I'll start reading once again in 1 Kings chapter 18, verses 1 through 39. And it happened after many days that the word of Yahweh came to Elijah in the 3rd year, saying, Go, appear to Ahab. I shall send rain upon the face of the land. Elijah went to appear to Ahab, and the famine was severe in Samaria. Ahab summoned Obadiah, who was in charge of the household. Obadiah feared Yahweh greatly. When Jezebel had been cutting down the prophets of Yahweh, Obadiah took 100 prophets and hid them 50 to a cave and sustained them with bread and water. And Ahab said to Obadiah, Go through the land to every spring of water and to all the streams. Perhaps you may find grass and keep the horses and mules alive. And we shall not cut off, and we shall not be cut off without animals. They divided the land between themselves, and that they may traverse it. Ahab went alone in one direction, and Obadiah went alone in another direction. Obadiah was on the road, and behold, Elijah was opposite him. He recognized him and fell on his face and said, Is it you, my Lord Elijah? And he said to him, It is I. Tell your Lord Elijah is here. He said, This is my sin. What is my sin that you deliver your servant to Ahab's power to put me to death? As Yahweh, your Elohim, lives, there is not a nation or kingdom where my Lord has not sent to seek you. And they have responded, He is not here. He had the kingdom or the nation swear that they could not find you. And now you say, Go tell your Lord Elijah is here. As soon as I go from him, a spirit of Yahweh will carry you where I will not know. And I will have come to Ahab, and he will not find you, and he will kill me. But your servant has feared Yahweh since my youth. Surely my Lord has been told what I did when Jezebel murdered the prophets of Yahweh. and I hid some of the prophets of Yahweh, 100 men, 50 men to a cave, and I sustained them with bread and water. And now you say to me, go tell your Lord Elijah is here. He will kill me. Elijah said, as Yahweh, Lord of hosts, master of legions, Lord of the armies, as he lives before whom I have stood, today I will appear to him. Obadiah went toward Ahab and told him. So Ahab went toward Elijah. When Ahab saw Elijah, Ahab said to him, is that you troubler of Yashar'Allah? He said to him, I have not troubled Yashar'Allah, but you and your father's house, when you forsook the commandments of Yahweh and followed the Baal idols. And now send forth and gather all Yashar'Allah to me at Mount Carmel, and also the 450 prophets of the Baal and the 400 prophets of Asherah who eat at Jezebel's table. Ahab sent among the Banya Yashar'Allah, and he gathered the prophets to Mount Carmel. Elijah approached all the people and said, how long will you dance between two opinions? If Yahweh is the Elohim, follow him. And if Baal, follow him. The people did not answer him a word. Elijah said to the people, I have remained a prophet of Yahweh by myself, but the prophets of Baal are 450 men. Let them give us 2 bulls. Let them choose 1 bull for themselves, cut it, and put it on the wood, but not apply fire. And I will prepare 1 bull and place it on the wood, and I will not apply fire. You shall call out in the name of your God, and I shall call out in the name of Yahweh. And whichever God responds with fire, he is God. And the people responded, the proposal is good. Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, pick yourselves 1 bull and prepare it first, for you are the majority, and call out in the name of your God, but do not apply fire. They took the bull which he gave them and prepared it, and called out in the name of the Baal from the morning until noon, saying, O Baal, answer us. But there was neither sound nor response, and they danced by the altar that they had made. At noontime, Elijah ridiculed them and he said, cry out in a loud voice, for he is a God. Perhaps he is conversing or pursuing enemies or relieving himself. Perhaps he is asleep and he will awaken. They called out with a loud voice and cut themselves with swords and knives according to their custom, until blood spurted on them. When the noon hour passed, they prophesied until the time of the afternoon offering. But there was neither sound, nor response, nor listening. Elijah said to the entire people, draw near to me. And all the people drew near to him. He repaired the disassembled altar of Yahweh. Elijah took 12 stones, corresponding to the number of the tribes of the children of Yaquab, to whom the word of Yahweh came, saying, your name shall be Yasharallah. He built the stones into an altar in the name of Yahweh, and he made a trench large enough to plant 2 seah of seed around the altar. He arranged the wood, cut up the bull, and put it on the wood. He said, fill 4 jugs of water and pour it on the Olah offering and on the wood. Then he said, do it a second time. And they did it a second time. He said, do it a third time. And they did it a third time. The water went all around the altar, and the water even filled up the trench. At the time of the afternoon offering, Elijah, the prophet, approached and said, Yahweh, Alahaya Abaraham, Yatzakak, and Yasharallah. Today, it will be known that you, Alahayim, are with Yasharallah, and I am your servant. And at your word have I done all these things. Answer me, Yahweh. Answer me. And let this people know that you are Yahweh, the Alahayim, and you will turn their heart back. A fire of Yahweh descended and consumed the Olah offering and the wood and the stones of the earth. The fire consumed the rocks too. And it licked the water in the trench. The entire people saw and fell on their face and said, Yahweh, he is Alahayim. Yahweh, he is Alahayim. Yahweh, Hawa'ah ha'Alahayim. Yahweh, Hawa'ah ha'Alahayim. Okay, so that's that Torah. Haftarah, dealing with Elijah. And finally, we go to the book of Mark, chapter 9, verses 1. Mark chapter 9, verses 1 through 10. And he said unto them, verily I say unto you, there shall be some of them that stand here, which shall not taste of death, till they have seen the kingdom of Yahweh come with power. And after 6 days, Yahweh taketh with him Peter and James and John, and leadeth them up into a high mountain, apart by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his raiment, clothing, became shining, exceeding white as snow, so as no fuller on earth can white them. And there appeared unto them Elijah with Moses. And they were talking with Yahushua. And Peter said unto Yahushua, Peter answered and said to Yahushua, Master, it is good for us to be here. And let us make 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elijah. For he wist not what to say. For they were sore afraid. And there was a cloud that overshadowed them. And the cloud and a voice came out of the cloud, saying, This is my beloved son. Hear him. And as they came down from the mountain, he charged them that they should tell no man what things they had seen, till the Son of Man were risen from the dead. And they kept these sayings with themselves, questioning one with another what the rising from the dead should mean. So that's the reading of the Torah, the Surah, and the Haftarah for this Shabath. All right. Now, if you follow throughout the week, you'll get more details on each of the Torah portions that we read today. All right, because that's what we're supposed to be doing. If you have people locally, you should be getting together on the second day and the 5th day of the week to study the Torah and to go into the books of, Yahushua and go into the different prophets. This is what, we're supposed to be doing. This is what our forefathers did. So we have to do this same, follow this same pattern that our fathers kept, and stay strong in the Torah, but not forgetting about Yahushua Hamashiach, and not forgetting about the Most High's the prophets and the Psalms that he gave us also. So here we see this thing with Elijah. They were hidden inside inside the different caves. Now remember, the Most High put Moses in a cave, and as we read in the book of Mark, he took them to the mountains where nobody could see what was going on. So a lot of times the biggest things that the Most High has done, people individually, are meant for those individuals. He haven't exposed it to the whole world. All right. So these prophets that were hidden with Elijah, these are men of the Most High, but people they were seeking death. All right. So they had to go out and hide. And another brother came and he had what? He was giving them food and bread and water. Show you that when the crap hits the fan, if you don't have what you need to survive, you better be plugged into a network of people that can help you get what you need to survive. Now, it was Elijah was on a higher level. The Most High would have birds bringing him food. But these other prophets, it was Obadiah that had to bring them food that he had, prepared for them. And he was taking care of that situation to make sure that their needs have been met, that their needs were being met, because they were, men of the Most High. All right. So as we see with Elijah, what he did also again was he said, meet me at the mountain. So we see a kind of common thing. We see people meeting at mountains and trying to interact for the power of the Most High. Moses went up to the mountain, got that glory on him. Elijah went up to the mountain, and the power of the Most High came down and melted the rocks and the stones, consumed the stones and the wood and the offering. And then we see Yahushua going up to the mountain as one of the top prophets of Yahweh. And as he goes up, what happens? Elijah, who we just read about, and then Moses, who we read about prior, both of them appeared together with Yahushua, letting you see that Yahushua has brought no division in the prophets or the law. Yahushua actually came in the same vein of mission of the prior prophets and of Moses, which is to just lead men to a more righteous way of living and to be pleasing unto Yahweh and to know what he likes and what's pleasing to him so they can get spared from his wrath that's going to come upon all the wicked that transgress his commandments and the statutes. And he don't care what the excuse, or what the reason is. If you break his commandments, he is not gonna, you're not gonna escape his judgment. So what we need to do is repent. And once we repent, then we'll see more grace, more mercy, and more love from the Most High. All right. So that's all we got for today. We did pretty good, hour 15 minutes. Kept everything kind of superficial, to be honest. We saw the glory of Moses. His face was shining. And we saw that the Levites went through and killed the people. The Haitians went through and killed the people from the tribe of Levi. All right, of the people that didn't want to keep the commandments and wanted to follow after that golden calf. They killed 3,000 people at a moment's notice. We see also the Most High told us, don't deal with these Gentile women. Don't deal with these Gentile wives because they're going to try to follow other gods. They're going to try to have your sons following other gods. The Most High said that. And that's why a lot of these calamities and stuff starts to happen to us as individuals. All right, because we're going against the commandments of the Most High. And it's a spiritual link up when a man and woman get together. It's a spiritual link up. And somebody's going to lose and somebody's going to win. And that's what happened with a lot of these women when they get with men that are Israelite women. They spirit want to win over the man. And the man becomes weak and he succumbs to what she wants to do. Or she wants a man that's going to succumb to what she wants to do. And she wants to be the low-key head and want to have him in a position of leadership when that's what she wants. But then she wants to be able to to surpass that position when she wants to. All right. Now, with a Gentile woman, the Most High say, you know what? Don't even, just save yourself any and all drama. Don't even deal with these other nations and their women because they're going to try to have you following after other Allahayim, following after other gods besides Yahweh. All right. So we see that unity within Israel and those that worship Yahweh. Alahaya Abaraham, Alahaya Yatzakah, and Wa Alahaya Yaikwab. All right. The Alahayim of the Banya Yasha'Allah, the Alahaya of the Banya Yasha'Allah. All right. So the Most High is our Alahayim. All right. So now I want to also point out that the word Baal right there was more or less a generic word. It was more like a generic word. A lot of these different deities have proper names, and Baal was just like a generic term that was used. All right. Now, what else from the law do we need to point out? Can you think of anything, Ariashana Maria? Anything else from the law needs to be brought out that we read this week? Now, this is not saying we can't wear gold, so we got to get that straight too. We can wear gold. I want to point that out. Now, these spices, expensive spices, very, very expensive spices in large quantities. And so the Most High, he likes these oils. He likes this natural, the natural oils that we wear. All right. I don't really think he likes a whole lot of the different chemicals and stuff that we do in laboratories. All right. All right. Because a lot of this stuff is the different oils and stuff have therapeutic, holistic qualities that Yahweh made that actually starts, it heals and it repairs and it protects your body and it builds up your immunization system. A lot of people, may drink, a lot of people may, drink black seed oil, but if you take that black seed oil, which is black cumin, and you have it with frankincense, right? And you have it with myrrh, and you have it with rosemary, and you have it with not rosemary like oregano, you have it with lavender, you're gonna be in chill mode all day and healthy all day. But these other things that you put in your body, these things are chemical foreign agents that your body identifies as invaders, and your body attacks them. So when you put on a lotion got a whole bunch of chemicals in it, your body attacks it. So your body, you don't feel it attacking it, but your body attacks it. And after a while, you start to become immune to it. And that's why you're becoming sick and stuff. You putting all this hair grease with chemicals in it. You putting on lotion with a bunch of chemicals in it. And you putting on the roller bottle oils with chemicals in it. And over time, that's going to tear down your immune system because your body's constantly fighting and fighting. This is the best. That's one of the best oils, the best thing you can use to moisturize your skin. All right, extra virgin olive oil. I don't like to put no lotion. I don't like to put no special skin creams or whatever. These companies are making money off of cheap chemicals. Victoria's Secrets and, now I will say this though, when you start to get into like a fine cologne, like maybe like a Burberry or Yves Saint Laurent or maybe like a Issey Miyake, now you get into apothecary because those oils have black pepper in it. Black pepper oil, which is very costly and has a very strong, good aromatic look, like smell. Say perfume. Parfum. Oh yeah, parfum. Parfumer. The parfum. Somebody's telling me perfume as opposed to cologne. Are you trying to say cologne is not? Eau de toilette is not good. Okay, so yeah, you want a natural parfum. So yeah, and I've seen people making these oils, and you don't have to. You can use like a denatured alcohol to make some of these things. The alcohol is not going to be, as bad for your skin, but there are other things you can use besides the alcohol. The alcohol just helps it stick to your skin. All right, but you can have like a water that you use as a base too. But anyway, the point is that when we see these different oils, the calamus and the myrrh, the frankincense and the acacia, all right, these oils are strong oils and they all have good health properties, that help to heal your body once again. So the Most High is all about things going in your body that are going to be good for your body. And he said, I want all the tabernacle instruments and the tabernacle furniture, I want it to be anointed. So I want a special smell to come off of these things that are going to be used for you all in your service to me, which is going to be also used for your service toward Israel. Because remember, the whole sacrifices were offered up for the sin of Israel and for the wave offering for Yasharallah, all right, for a guilt offering for the sins of Banya Yasharallah, the children of Israel. All right, so of course, Bazaleel, all right, he was top notch, top ranking in everything that could be done on earth. Bazaleel was top ranking, and then the Most High chose Oholiab to be his assistant. All right. So now remember also Moses was in this mountain for 80 days total. Remember, he was up there 40 days and then came down and saw the people bugging out. And he got mad and threw down the tablets and then turned right back around and went back up for another 40 days and another 40 nights. Now also during this time period that the Most High Yahweh is talking to Masha, he tells him about the 3 feasts that we have to keep in the season of spring, Abib, which is determined by the constellations, not just by the equinox and that's Earth and Sun. The constellations are what determine, where we're supposed to be at within the year. And you have to learn how to work all 3 of those together: the constellations, the sun, and the moon. They all work together in one cycle to begin the year. And this is what's given to us in Genesis 1:14. Before the sun and moon were even created, the Most High says the circle of stars, or the first creation of the lights in the firmament, are what's supposed to be used to determine a year. All right, for days, for times. It says for signs, seasons, days, and year. And then the other lights of the firmament, the sun, the moon, and the other stars, they fit into, you know, those equations. All right. So now he gave us 3 holy days to keep, which is the Feast of Unleavened Bread / Passover. All right. And then after that, we have the Sabbath. Then we have the Feast of Unleavened Bread / Passover. And then we have the Feast of Weeks. Right after that, we have the Feast of Tabernacles, Feast of Harvest, also called the Feast of Booths, that all males are supposed to appear before Yahweh. All right, and that's about it. That's about it. So now we see that remember now in 10 more nights, right? Wasn't it 10 more nights? Or was it 11 more nights? In 11 more nights, we begin a new month, which is going to be Adar number 2. Which is going to be Adar number 2. And this upcoming month is the month where we celebrate Purim. If you celebrated Purim and you missed it, don't trip. All right, don't trip. You missed it. All right. The Most High gave us the days in Exodus chapter, in Leviticus chapter 23. For real, these are my holy days. But then these other ones that we have for Purim and Maccabees, the holiday we find in Maccabees and Esther, we should observe and respect and honor those. But the reality and the fact is that they are still not holidays that were given to us from Yahweh in Leviticus chapter 20 and in Leviticus chapter 23. These are days that we chose to say we're going to worship Yahweh and praise him on this day. They are not Sabbath days, all right? But they are days that we have to respect and honor, you know, and observe. All right. So the next, so starting from today, all right, starting from today, okay, if you count this, when the sun goes down tonight, okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm sorry. When the sun goes down tonight, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. On the 10th night, all right, on the 10th night, okay, when the sun goes down, that's going to be the last day of the month. On the 11th night, that's going to be the first day of the new month. All right, which is going to be the 13th month this year. So what you have to realize is that now on the Gentiles' calendars, the third day, the third day on their calendar, on the fourth day, the third day on the Gentiles' calendar, and the fourth day on the Gentiles' calendar is a holy day. So look on your Gentile calendar, and when you see that fourth day on their calendar, when you see that third day on their calendar, know that that is a holy day when that night comes in on the Gentile calendar. And on the fourth day on the Gentiles' calendar, that whole day is a holy day until the night comes in. Now, for us, of course, it's going to be the fourth. It's going to be the for us, of course, it's going to be the fourth day. All right, so-called Tuesday night, so-called Wednesday night. For us, it's going to be the fourth day from the Hebrew calendar. For the Gentile, it's going to be the third day and the fourth day. All right, which is so-called Tuesday and Thursday. Some call Tuesday and Wednesday. So now the new year is going to be, let's see, when this month starts, all right, the new year is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So new year is going to start 1, 2, 3, 4. So in 4 weeks and in 2 more days, so-called April 4th. All right. So once again, this calendar I'm putting together, bam, it's gonna have the weeks there. I'm gonna just say week number so and so, but you ain't gonna be able to follow me if you ain't got all the tools, man. So you got to get the right tools. We're gonna have the year according to the Gentiles, according to the week number from when they start their new year. And then we're going to just count them weeks like that. That's going to be our civil calendar. Then our Hebrew calendar is going to have our days going from right to left. They're going to have our months going in a column, hopefully on the right-hand side. And then within that 7-day week, we'll have what day of our week the new year starts. And these holy days come in. And these holy days come in, and the new moons come in by our calendar, not no Gentile calendar. So you ain't gonna have to take a Gentile calendar no more and convert it to a Hebrew calendar. You're gonna have your own Hebrew calendar going from right to left with 2 columns that allow you to follow the Gentile system that they have set up, which we must, because if I got a flight coming up on if I have a flight that's coming up on the let's see, if I have a flight coming up on the let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, on the 7th day of the 13th month, what date is that on the Gentile system? So now we got to look at, the Gentile time period, you know what I'm saying? And now we got to convert it to their time. Right now we're using their calendar and converting our time. But now we're going to look at our calendar and convert it to their time, when we need to. It's going to be kind of difficult to get used to. But remember, when you see this calendar I'm putting together, that little, it's going to be like some darkness. It's going to be the lines, of course, dividing the days. Like a regular calendar has lines between the days and the numbers. That black line right now on our calendars, the Gentile calendars, that line represents midnight, because you go from Sunday midnight, and then you cross that black line going to Monday when it's midnight. It represents midnight. On our calendar, the black line will represent sunset. So you'll have a few hours after the sunset, and then you'll go into whatever that Gentile day is. All right. So if you have, like, you look on our calendar, Saturday is going to be, the Sabbath is going to be on the right hand, is going to be on the left hand side. That's the 7th day. So when you see that black line on the right side of our calendar, okay, on the right side of on the left side of our calendar, you see that black line that represents sunset. Okay, and then when you see the next column, which is going to be on the right side, on the far right side, on the 2nd week under that, you'll see a line on the right-hand side, okay? A line on the right-hand side, which is going to be a black line, which represents the sunset from the previous Sabbath, then going into the first day of the week. And then once the sun set, of course, now you in the full Hebrew week. You see what I'm saying? So that's how we're going to be able to, to do it. So it have instructions and stuff written on it. Might be hard for some people to follow, but hopefully, everybody can get the hang of it. All right, everybody can get the hang of it, because we have to have we got to stop. These people raped us, they robbed us, they murdered us, they enslaved us, they lynched us, they burnt us alive, they cut off our body parts. All right, they cut off our toes and our fingers and our hands, all right? They would hang us and set us on fire. They would pour hot tar on our bodies that would melt and burn on our skin, and then they would throw feathers on us to make us look like a bird or look like a chicken. It's called tar and feather, and it hurt. It burned. It burnt your skin. Remember, so these are things that they've done to us. So now, I'm getting tired of every time we do or say something, we got to refer back to the slave master and say, well, this is what he say, but for us is this thing. No, the Sabbath does not begin on no Friday night. The Sabbath begins on the 7th day of the week. Now, the 7th day of the week, the Gentiles perverted and said, well, we're going to make this 7th day of the week composed of 2 days, Friday and Saturday. All right. But Friday, let me say it like this. The 7th day of the week, the Sabbath doesn't start on Friday night. Even though on the calendar it says Friday night, what happens is that the Gentiles Friday All right, the Gentiles Friday night starts. The Gentiles Friday starts from the previous day for us. On the previous day. You see what I'm saying? So we're going from sunset to sunset. So within that sunset period, all right, they incorporated 2 days and then put a midnight in there in the third day. We didn't do that. They did that. So the Sabbath starts on the 7th day. Now, they put Friday and Saturday within our 7th day because our day begins on the darkness, when the sun sets, and the Gentile day begins at midnight and then again at sunrise, at midnight. But the day actually begins a few hours before midnight, which is when the sun goes down. All right, because remember, you got 2 types of days. You got the day of, just the daylight, and then you have a day which composes, the morning, the evening and the morning. We're going to Genesis 1 and 5. All right, so we'll have everything all worked out for you. Now remember, so in layman's terms, the next new moon is going to be so-called March 5th. After that, the next new moon is going to be so-called April 4th. And after that, we're going to have Passover on the so-called 15th. As the sun's going down on the 15th of April. I'm sorry, on the 15th of our month, 14th, 15th. But as the sun is going down on the 18th of April, and that's when we start the Passover / Feast of Unleavened Bread. The last day of the Passover Feast of Unleavened Bread is going to be on so-called April 24th, all right, April 25th, all right. Now, these are our dates, our holy days that we're supposed to be keeping. We're not just supposed to be following, Easter and Christmas. We're supposed to follow Easter and Christmas. Those are all pagan holidays. Put Easter origin and put Christmas origin. Just a quick Google search, and you'll see from historical sources that these days were actually days meant to worship other demons, other false gods that the Gentiles, were worshiping. It was not meant to worship the God of Israel, which is the God of the God of Holy Bible, the Santa Biblia. All right, these holidays, New Year's and Easter and Christmas and Valentine's Day, those days don't have their origin in this book, in the Holy Bible. Christ Yahushua did not observe any of those days. The Romans observed those days, who were the enemies of Israel. They observed these other days, man. So you gotta, get it together, Israel. We are the chosen people of the Most High Yahweh. The slaves and the original peoples in the Americas are the chosen people of the Most High, and we have to return back to our nationality. We have to return to the Messiah, and we have to return to the laws of Yahweh. No, it's a kind of a delay, on a year. It's a delay on a year because they start in December / January, and then we start in the springtime when the sun goes into the first constellation. Then the moon follows behind it, or follows, is lined up with the sun also, and then it moves into the first constellation. So yeah, it does have a different year count, but they coincide. They end up coinciding anyway. But once again, that calendar is not put together yet. We're putting it together now. A kind of a blueprint for it, a framework for it was put together about 5 years ago, but it hasn't been fine-tuned yet. So it's going to get fine-tuned hopefully over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully it's ready to present for Pesach, if not before. Who knows? It may even make its grand debut in the land of Israel. Who knows? All right, so all praise to Yahweh Bashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. I thank everybody for coming out and joining us today on the Shabath, the 7th day of rest. May the Most High be with you. Shema Yasha Allah Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh Kad wa Habda At Yahweh Elohayaka Bakal Lababka wa Bakal Napashka wa Bakal Ma'adka. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our power, Yahweh is one, and you shall love Yahweh your power with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Yabalakakam Yahweh Bashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Hallelujah. Shabbat Shalom.